Hi Year 2 students, here we are at lesson 11. My name is Ella and I'll be your teacher today. Let's get going. But before we do, let's have a think about what we learned last time. Lesson 10 was all about how important the equal sign is. And the equal sign doesn't mean this is the answer. It actually means these two sides are equal to each other. And we did some great number sentences to show that nice balance. So well done. I hope you have all your learning in your learning book. Okay, now what do we need today? We will need our learning books. We'll need some things to count. We're going to be making some things today, so we'll need paper and some scissors. And we will need a dice. So I've got all of these things. You might need to collect those now. All right, so let's start with our warm-up. And you can probably tell that our lessons today and in the next few lessons we'll be talking about something wonderful called place value. So let's think about what we are doing for our warm-up. All right, let's have a look at our number talk. What does this number represent? How do I write this number? If I took away 110, what would this number be? If I added 100, what would this number be? And what are two other ways I could write this number? Let's have a think about that. First question, what is this number? Let's write that down. I hope you have your learning book ready. What is this number? Okay, I can see 3 in the hundreds. 3 in the hundreds. I can see 5 in the tens. And I can see 2 rows of 4. 4 and 4, my doubles, 8. I can see 8 ones in the ones. So my number is 358. I hope you got that right. If I minus 10, if I subtract or take away 10 from this column, what will my answer be? So let's have a think about that. I'll hide one of those and we'll have a think about that. What would the number be if I took 10 away? If I took one of these away, my answer would be 358, take away 110, 348. I hope you got that one right too. Okay, my next question was, what happens if I add 100? So I add 100 in our column here. So I have 358. I'm going to add 100. What will my answer be? Now I can see 1, 2, 3 and an imaginary 4. So my answer will be 458. Okay, great workout. Let's keep going. The next question is, how can I represent this number in 2 more ways? So I think what I can do is I can partition my numbers now into these groups, a little bit like our bar model or our cherry diagram. So let's have a look. I'm going to write, I have 300, I have 5 tens, and I have 8 ones. Beautifully partitioned into 300 plus 50 plus 8. And the last way I can represent that is with my words. So let's have a think. I can go 3 and write the word, here it is here, hundreds. 3 hundredths. In my funny writing. And how many tens again? That's right, 5 tens. And 8 ones. Okay. Let's go through this quickly again. We have 358. If I subtract 10 or take away 10, I'll have 10 less, which is 348. I had 358. If I add another 100, I'll have 458. I can partition this number, 300 plus 50 plus 8, and I can write it another way, 3 hundredths and 5 tens and 8 ones. Well done. Okay, today's learning intention is to understand that 10 of these is one of those. And we're going to focus on our place values of hundreds, tens and ones. Today, especially, we're going to have a look at 100s. Okay, how will we know we've got this? When we can put these things together and know that 10 of these equals one of those. So let's have a look at some examples I have already for you. You may have seen these MAB blocks before. Let's have a look at these now. We have 10 ones. 10 ones makes 1 10. 10 of these makes one of those. 10 tens will make 100. 10 of these makes one of those. Okay, let's have a look at our 10-cent coins. 10 10-cent coins will make 1 100 cents, which we call $1. Let's think about that. 10 of these makes one of those. Now we have our wonderful pop sticks. Let's have a look. I have a 4 and a 6, which I know makes 10. 10 of these will make a bundle of 10, which is one of those. 10 of these makes one of those. And our last example, one I learnt when I used to play Monopoly, is if I have 10 $1, I can trade this in for a $10 note. So 10 of these will make one of those. All right, great examples, and let's not forget 10 of these makes one of those. Okay, let's get crafty. We're going to have to make some MAB blocks. So we're going to need some coloured paper and some scissors, and let's get crafty. To start with, I'm going to show you how we're going to end up. So we're going to end up with a beautiful square, which will be our hundreds. In a different colour, we're going to end up with a tens, nice big long strip. And for our ones, we're going to have nice little squares to help us do our hundreds, tens and ones. Okay, let's work out how to start. I have 3 different colours here, and I'd like to show you how we turn a rectangle into a square. You might already know this, but the easiest way to turn a rectangle into a square is to fold it. Now I have a square I can see here, and a nice edge to cut with. So I'll fold my rectangle, I'll fold in, and here, if I cut out will have my square. All right, so now I have a hundreds. I've also got a lovely strip of paper that I can cut my tens. I'm going to cut quite a few tens. I've got 4 here, but I might keep cutting to get some more tens. I'm going to look for a different colour for my ones. So I'll cut my strip. I'll show you 3 strips. If I'm going to cut in to smaller ones, I might fold my strips so I can get half of 10, I'll get 5s. So now I've folded them, I might even overlap them so I can have 1 cut. And here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here are all my fabulous ones. So let's recap. I've made a square for my hundreds. I've made long strips of paper for my tens, and I have made lots of little squares for my ones. All right, time for you to get crafty and make your own hundreds, tens and ones. All right, so now we have our hundreds, tens and ones. We need to keep these for our next few lessons, so I hope you've got a safe place to pop them and look after them, because we're going to be using these with our place value mats. All right, so place value mats, I say? Yes, let's make one of those as well. We can make one of these on a big piece of paper or in your learning book. So let's have a look at how we might make one of these. Oh look, 10 of these makes one of those. Here we go. I'm going to draw quite a large rectangle. And I need some headings on my rectangle, so I'm going to just draw a line at the top. Okay, that's for my headings. And I don't really need to write those headings. I'm going to use some letters for that. But before I do, I need to have how many columns for hundreds and tens and ones? I think I need 2 lines, not in the middle, but just to the side. Not in the middle, but just to the side. Perfect. And I think I'm going to write an H for hundreds, a T for tens, and a O for ones. Okay. Now something is missing from the chart here to the chart we've made, and I can see it's a beautiful 10 frame. So we will need to pop one of those in our ones place. We've used 10 frames before, so we draw a rectangle with a line down the middle. I'm going to look where the middle is, but I'm going to go just below it. Here are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5. 5 and 5 make 10. Here's my 10 frame. Okay, I'll leave you to it because this is can be a little bit difficult to draw one of these yourself. Good luck. Okay, let's start our game. It's called the base 10 game. You'll need a dice, remember, and a chart. We've made a chart for you, and I've got one here to show you how to play the game. So let's get going. I'm going to roll my first dice and I roll a 5. So I'm going to take 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to fill up my ones column and my 10 frame. I'm going to roll again. Oh, I got a 6. So I'm going to add 6 to my 10 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. My 10 frame is full. But now I know that 10 of these makes one of those. 10 ones makes 1 10. So I can move these away. And now I have 1 10 and 1 1. Now I have 11. Okay, a 6 and a 5, that's right, 11. Let's keep playing. I'm going to roll the dice. I've got a 2. So I'm going to add a 2 more to my 10 frame. I'm subtotaling as we go. And this is called the base 10 game. Let's keep going. I've rolled another 2 and a 6. Let's add another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Aha! I have 10 of these. 10 of these makes one of those. 10 ones makes 1 10. So I'll move my 10 ones aside and replace it with 1. Now my number is 2 10s and 1 1. 2 10s is 20 and 1 21. Let's keep rolling. A 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Adding another 4. I can check my numbers as I go. 25. I've got 25. Let's roll one more time. A 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. It's happened again. I have 10 of these. 10 ones makes 1 10. So I'll take my 10 of these to make one of those. Let's check my number again. I have 3 10s and 1 1. I have 31. Okay, now we're up to 31. I'm going to stop my game and record my answer. So to record my answer, first of all, I'm going to make it and now I'm going to draw it. So I can see that I have 3 10s and I have 1 1. 3 10s and 1 1 gives me the answer of 31. And that's where I'm going to stop my small game. Okay, let's skip ahead to our large game. Let's add some more 10s to this original number of 31. So I've got 3 10s, 4 10s, 5 10s, 6 10s, 7 10s, 8 10s, 9 10s. 9 10s makes 90. 90 and 1. I have 91. And this would be my large game, more than 100. So I'll keep rolling. A 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm so close to 100. Here we are, 97. Let's roll again. 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What a very interesting number. 10 of these makes one of those. 10 of these makes one of those. What number do I have now? I have 10 tens and 2 ones. 10 of these makes one of those. 10 of these, 10 tens, makes 100. So I can move these in my base 10 game to make the 100. Now I have 100 and 0 tens, 100 0 tens and 2 ones. I have made it past 100. Here it is, 102. Keep rolling. Okay, Year 2 students, let's have a little reflection before we get to our task. Today's lesson, we learnt that 10 tens is 100, or 10 of these is one of those. Congratulations. Now let's get to the task. I think you might know it already. We're going to play 2 base 10 games. The first one is a total less than 100, and the second game is a total more than 100. And don't forget, you'll need to record your games by making, drawing and writing your answer. Have fun. I'll see you next time.